Good morning. Yesterday we talked about stages of a land conflict. We talked about pre-conflict, we talked about confrontation, we talked about crisis, the outcome, and then post-conflict. I gave you this structure showing the stages of a conflict, but what I want us today to talk about is the stages of a conflict and approaches to intervention. How do we approach a post-conflict period? As you can see, it is the same conflict stages, but we need to talk on how to approach such a conflict stages. When the conflict is still at pre-conflict stage, the intervention is conflict break up, prevention of the crisis outbreak, if it is known. However much we said that at this time it's not easy to know it, but once known, what we do is to prevent from the crisis from outbreaking. Once it is the conflict has passed the pre-conflict period and you have entered into a conflict, then that is confrontation and crisis. What we do is peacemaking. In peacemaking, that is stopping the conflicting parties from continuing with the conflict. It's like going in between the middle of the conflicting parties and stop them from fighting. Once you have made peace, what we call peacemaking, then you need to go into peacekeeping. That is the outcome. That is trying to get a solution to the problem, cooling down the two conflicting parties. What's the problem? If it's a land-related problem like a boundary, you need to go on the field. You need to go to the history of the land. You need to check to the neighbors. If they are land titles, you need to visit the land offices. You need to visit land records to know the outcome. Then after that, after getting the solution, after mediating the parties, then we are going into a post-conflict period, what we call peace building. We are getting a solution to solve the problem forever. We need to put there the permanent boundaries to make sure that this problem will never be again. So that's what we call the approaches and intervention of post-conflict period. This is one of the examples of related conflicts. This is an example in Kenya, you will get it in your notes. These are different examples of land-related conflict. As I have said, land-related challenges are not only in Rwanda, they are all over the world. You can see it in Nigeria, you can see it in Uganda, you can see it in Nepal. This is in Rwanda, where they say that land disputes still dominate petitions to the ombudsman. You can see it in Tanzania, Maasai land dispute with Safari Tourism Group. You can see it in Namibia, Rotapai land dispute. It's almost all over the world. Vietnam, land dispute sets of rampage. You can see justice buried as the government failed to address land disputes. This is Jakarta, Indonesia. So you can see that land disputes are all over the world. This is Ethiopia. Ethiopia erupts in deadly ethnic violence. At least 18 people killed. You can see this is China. High-end farmers protest decades of land dispute. As I have said that one of the causes of the conflict is discrimination. This screenshot is one of the laws that was used in South Africa during the apartheid time. You can see this encircled part. It is stated that no African may buy land or own property anywhere in the republic, meaning that all the Africans, all the blacks were not allowed to own, buy any land-related property in the Republic of South Africa during the apartheid time. You can see that this one is enough to be the source of conflict. So when we talk of land-related issues, then we need to talk about our region, where we are. The Great Lakes. Some countries lack access to land in a major life conflict for many people in the parts of the Great Lakes. The inhibiting effects of the inequitable access are exacerbated by the general land scarcity. Take an example in Eastern DRC, for example, vast amounts of the fertile land have been alienated from customary tenure system to detriment the local peasants, first by the colonial power and then by the customary. This one leads to the local people stay without any choice but